I'm just reading through the rest of Trump's Gaza peace plan here. Point 11 says a special economic zone will be established with preferred tariff and access rates to be negotiated with participating countries. And my question is, a special economic zone will be established. How? How? With preferred tariff and access rates. And again, President Trump is bringing tariffs in here as well. And access rates to be negotiated with participating countries. And who will these participating countries be? Are we talking about or referring to Middle Eastern countries here with that? I'm just thinking about the practicality of it all. And where are these participating countries then? When are they going to be invited to be included on the Board of Peace? Is this a peace plan or is this a stall plan? Because I'm just thinking, has Prime Minister Netanyahu stopped, or is he continuing to take over Gaza while this peace plan is being brought up? But what is Netanyahu doing in the background still? Is he still continuing with his offensive against Gaza and the takeover of Gaza? Again, I keep saying, look at his actions, not his words. Or just look at his actions and what he is still doing in the background while President Trump and him are bringing forward this peace plan to the world. But what is Prime Minister Netanyahu still doing in the background when it comes to Gaza and the Palestinians? Is he still getting on with Gaza takeover? And if so, then is it that this peace plan is being brought up at this point to distract the world, or as a distraction while Netanyahu continues to take over Gaza, and this peace plan is being brought up as a distraction to stall until Netanyahu completely takes over Gaza? What's really going on here with this peace plan? Because Winston Churchill's spirit is still here, and Churchill is saying that in order for this peace plan to work and to go anywhere, Netanyahu must withdraw from Gaza first. Like, he must withdraw the Israeli army from Gaza first. And then maybe we can talk about peace and bringing peace to the Palestinians and bringing peace to Gaza. But he's not going to do that now, is he? Netanyahu is not going to withdraw from the Gaza Strip and he's not going to withdraw IDF or Israeli army from the Gaza Strip. So then what good is this peace plan? Churchill is saying Netanyahu still plans to take over Gaza, and he has no plans to withdraw from Gaza. He has no plans to withdraw the Israeli army and or IDF from Gaza. So then how is this peace plan going to work? Point 12 says, no one will be forced to leave Gaza, and those who wish to leave will be free to do so and free to return. We will encourage people to stay and offer them the opportunity to build a better Gaza. How? When Netanyahu is still continuing with the takeover of Gaza in the background, and he has no plans to withdraw from Gaza. Number 13, or point 13, Hamas and other factions agree to not have any role in the governance of Gaza, directly, indirectly, or in any form. All military, terror, and offensive infrastructure, including tunnels and weapon production facilities, will be destroyed and not rebuilt. There will be a process of demilitarization of Gaza under the supervision of independent monitors, which will include placing weapons permanently beyond use through an agreed process of decommissioning and supported by an internationally funded buyback and reintegration program, all verified by the independent monitors. And who will be these independent monitors then? Who are these independent monitors? And then it says, New Gaza will be fully committed to building a prosperous economy and to peaceful coexistence with their neighbors. Who are these independent monitors? Point 14. A guarantee will be provided by regional partners to ensure that Hamas and the factions comply with their obligations and that New Gaza poses no threat to its neighbors or its people. Again, who are these regional partners? Are we talking about the Middle Eastern countries? Which countries specifically? Which Middle Eastern countries are we talking about, or are we referring to here specifically as regional partners? And to make sure that the New Gaza poses no threat to its neighbors or its people. Okay, but who will make sure that Israel and PM Netanyahu will not pose a threat to its neighbors or his neighbors and their people? Who will make sure of that? Point 15. The United States will work with Arab and international partners to develop a temporary International Stabilization Force, or ISF, to immediately deploy in Gaza. The ISF will train and provide support to vetted Palestinian police forces in Gaza and will consult with Jordan and Egypt, who have extensive experience in this field. This force will be the long-term internal security solution. The ISF will work with Israel and Egypt to help secure border areas, along with newly trained Palestinian police forces. It is critical to prevent munitions from entering Gaza and to facilitate the rapid and secure flow of goods to rebuild and revitalize Gaza. A deconfliction a deconfliction mechanism will be agreed upon by the parties. Which parties? Exactly. The United States will work with Arab and international partners to develop a temporary international stabilization force, or ISF, to immediately deploy in Gaza. Again, how? And how long will this take? Point 16 says, Israel will not occupy or annex Gaza. Really? When Israel has not withdrawn from Gaza. So then how does this work? Because Israel is still occupying Gaza. Simply because it has not withdrawn from Gaza yet. And then, as I said, Churchill is letting me know that Netanyahu has no plans to withdraw from Gaza. So then how does this work? That Israel will not occupy or annex Gaza when Israel is still occupying Gaza. And PM Netanyahu has no plans to withdraw from Gaza. And then it goes on to say, as the ISF establishes control and stability, the Israel Defense Forces, or IDF, will withdraw based on standards, milestones, and time frames linked to demilitarization that will be agreed upon between the IDF, ISF, the guarantors, and the United States, with the objective of a secure Gaza that no longer poses a threat to Israel, Egypt, or its citizens. Who are these guarantors? And then it says, practically, the IDF will progressively hand over the Gaza territory it occupies to the ISF according to an agreement they will make with the Transitional Authority. And who is this Transitional Authority going to be? Until they are withdrawn completely from Gaza, save for a security perimeter presence that will remain until Gaza is properly secure from any resurgent terror threat. And how long will this take? What kind of time frames are we talking about here? It's just stall, 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 stalling, stalling, stalling. This is a stall plan, not a peace plan. This sounds like a stall plan, not a peace plan. Point 17 says, in the event Hamas delays or rejects this proposal, the above, including the scaled up aid operation, will proceed in the terror-free areas handed over from the IDF to the ISF. Again, how long will this handover from the IDF to the ISF will take? What are we looking at here? What kind of time frames are we looking at here with that? Point 18 says, an interfaith dialogue process will be established based on the values of tolerance and peaceful coexistence to try and change mindsets and narratives of Palestinians and Israelis by emphasizing the benefits that can be derived from peace. All right, so then when are you going to invite me in for that? And when are you going to invite us to the table for that? Because that's what I'm doing here on my channel as well. That's part of my job as well, isn't it? Right. Point 19 says, while Gaza redevelopment advances and when the PA reform program is faithfully carried out, the conditions may finally be in place for a credible pathway to Palestinian self-determination and statehood, which we recognize as the aspiration of the Palestinian people. Point 20, and this is the last and final point, says the United States will establish a dialogue between Israel and the Palestinians to agree on a political horizon for peaceful and prosperous coexistence. Again, very much sounding like a stall plan and a distraction plan. Like, how long all this is going to take? Is there a deadline? Shouldn't a deadline be established? This is a distraction plan. This is not a peace plan. This is a distraction plan. This is to stall things until Netanyahu takes over Gaza completely. Because I need to see this peace plan start to come together in reality, in real life. Until then, I don't know if I can believe this and if I can take this peace plan seriously until I actually see it start to come together in reality, in real life, step by step. If it has to be step by step, and if not, if I don't see that happening in reality, in real life, and soon, then, as I said, this is just to stall. This is just a distraction. This is just another distraction. It's not a real peace plan. And I'm gonna leave it there. Take care, stay safe, over and out.